Punahou hosted innovative and internationally renowned string ensemble Time for Three as artists in residence. Self-described as a classically trained garage band, they shared their high-energy music making with our students and teachers. Residency highlights included pop-up performances for our youngest students in the Omidyar and Kosasa neighborhoods, workshops with the Punahou Symphony and Suzuki violin students, and an improvisation makery session with our dance school students. Time for Three sparked lots of conversations about creativity, collaboration, and entrepreneurship. They inspired us by sharing their journey, a life in music rooted in foundational learning, discipline, hard work, and pursuing their passion and talent and joy in creating music together.
We love coming to the schools of our world, of our country, and inspiring people to find what it is they love to do, because we love what we do, and we feel very happy because of that. If you want to do something and you work hard at it, it's a lot more rewarding than not wanting to do something and working hard at it.
To do these things, these exercises with them, to kind of, I guess, inspire in a way, and by the end of it to see how beaming they are and how much they want to start working by themselves and explore more within their art form. That's the goal.
For a young child, especially that young, the experience is the most important thing. I mean, sure, it's great to learn things there, but if they come away having had a good time and associating that with whatever, that I think is a huge, important, yeah, it's instilled in their brain. And the fact that we were engaging with them, you know, and I felt like they were engaging with us. And so no matter what, if they're clapping and they're happy and they're joyous, they'll always remember that, that musical experience and with these instruments or whatever, and that's a real opportunity, and I think has helped to shape a young person's soul in a way. You know, honestly, we're just admiring so much where you guys go to school, and for us, we feel always so lucky whenever we get to play for young people like yourselves, because for us, when we were young going to school, we had people that came in and inspired us as well. It's like the beauty behind us, you know, the panoramic view of the city outside, you know, it was very special to be able to do that. Because the kids were older, you know, than what happened just before, which is great. And so it allowed us to have variety in what we were offering. Dynamics, we could actually play soft. You know, it was very special to be able to do that right after the little guys. And we don't know if they were more prepped before coming or not prepped, we don't know, but the vibe was such that we felt like we could just get a little bit deeper, you know, than what happened just before.
It's so great that you guys have these amazing programs here in this school, and that you guys are, here in this amazing auditorium, and you get to share, some experiences with us. We get to share with you. It's been a really great treat to really work with. 2 days ago, we worked with some people in the high school, and also some of the little kids, and it's great to see you guys and to have such culture here.
I've never heard of this kind of makery thing before, so I was really intrigued by it, but I had a class, and I was like, ooh, should I go to my class, or should I go to this makery thing? But then once I thought about it, it's like, when am I going to get this kind of opportunity? And when am I going to get to dance with live musicians who are at the same time improvising to our movement?
Okay, we're gonna have you guys improvise, and we all kind of went like, oh no. There's something about letting yourself like have all these ideas flow out and not thinking about them, like when you're like, what is it, freestyle rapping or like anything where you think of it on the spot. It's really scary at first because you think it's gonna make you very vulnerable, but something amazing can really come out of that. At first, we were probably more hesitant, but hearing their music, we flowed with it. Like, it became easier.
It's very cool for musicians to see where our music is, how it's visualized. It's very cool. Because usually we perform and we're just using our ears, but we get to look at you guys and you guys are visualizing what we're playing. It's really powerful stuff.
What was really nice was that they were so engaged with what they were doing and what we were doing. While we were dancing, sometimes I would look at them and their faces would just be like ecstatic. They'd be smiling and like just playing along with it, and we'd be kind of feeling it too. So there was some sort of connection between all of us, and it was just really nice to see how two different types of art could come together and make something like so beautiful. When you're dancing as a group, you need to be together, and but you need to carry your own weight. You need to work on yourself so that you can support the rest of the group. Whereas when you're improvising by yourself, you have to be like independent and have your own movement, but at the same time be aware of what the other group or everyone else in the group is doing.
So I'm so grateful to my parents and to my teachers, because they're the ones that made me work. I fought them tooth and nail, but because I just hated working. But because I worked hard, and because I went through the challenges and worked through the things that didn't come easy to me, I now have a life of, just going around the world with these two incredible guys, making the music that I want to make. And honestly, to be able to be in front of people like you, to just kind of give it back and to tell you straight up that if you work hard when you're young, the freedom of life awaits you. And it's really the truth.
Well, when we heard that Time for Three was going to be the artist in residence, we definitely knew that we wanted to get them into the Learning Commons somehow. We've been doing quality prototyping of different spaces and different programs as we work to find more ways to support student learning in all of its various forms. And this was a way that we knew would be a little outside of the box, but it was a way of bringing in real-world professionals into the space, and they were models of creativity, of innovation, entrepreneurialism, and really as a kind of a source of inspiration for our students.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the school just starting. We started 2 days ago. Our introduction to the school was walking into Craig, so your orchestra, and just seeing this huge group of string players. These a giant group of string players.
All smiles coming in, all smiles going out, you know, and just loving the class. You can tell that they loved improvising, just like being creative.
We worked on constructive criticism versus criticism. We worked on, you know, how to listen, how to work together.
How to groove.
Groove, finding the groove, asking the right questions, figuring out what the right questions are to ask. And then actually even some technique for their instruments, like keeping your shoulder down so you can relax into the instrument, using your dead weight as opposed to pressing and tension. Fundamental stuff, but stuff that if you really focus on the fundamentals, even as the most refined, high-ticketed, sought-after musician will tell you that it all comes down to that.
You know, there's a substantive side that you learn early on, and then through incremental steps, you advance forward and you open up and you gain more for yourself. The Suzuki method in itself is very, very particular on the idea that every person is already talented. They already have something within them. And through hard work and diligence and routine, you get to pick away at that and nurture, well, it's not pick away, it's nurture that. When we read something, we're not owning it. So it's about practicing like the energy that's on. So what I do is I stand in a room and I get in the circle and I say, okay, now I want you guys, well first I have everybody put the instruments down. And I say, okay, now I want you guys to pretend like we're wired like Ethernet. So any little movement I do, you follow. If I go like this, you follow. Don't think, just do. And I go like this, and I do this, and they have to really concentrate. You know, I do this for like 5 minutes, people are sweating, and that's good. Because that means they're actually like on, right? Then I say, pick up your instruments. Glue yourself. We have to be like Ethernet connection, okay? Follow exactly what I do right now. Come on, you're so slow, dude. Just you and me. Just you and me. Follow me. Okay, here we go.
If we can create space in the school day and space in our curriculum, but the kids aren't doing the creative stuff after schools, how do we create time when we have kids? Because this is the time over which we have control. This is the time that we can design. And so how do we fit this in, this space for for fundamentals, for basics, space for creativity, but also understand that we're educating kids via music who might not be musicians, but who might be wildly creative.
Actually, with less to work with, you are more creative. When you make yourself concentrate and stabilize and center yourself on fewer things, that's when you become richer, and you actually can say more because you're focused.
It took me a long time to realize that it was okay to celebrate what I was good at, because sometimes I felt like, and you talk about parameters, I feel like being good at something and only doing that, it felt, when I was younger, it felt like a cop-out. And I thought, no, I need to just work really, really smart and hard based on what I actually am really naturally good at.
I think as a sound, I think it's really interesting. How do you turn 2 violins and a bass into a rock band or a symphony orchestra? Those are the parameters that we have, but it's great to have those there to break them.
I already told her what she already knew. I'm as steady as my vertigo, and I already loved her after just a glance. There she was, a splitting image of all I'd imagined. Sometimes though I lose my balance, my vertigo overpowering, and I already love her more than I can stand. Trips me up and now I'm falling, my vertigo again. All my doubts, my fear of flying, she says don't look down, I'm right beside you. Now I'm flying, now it's falling, my vertigo again. I don't need a rescue, my escape's a plan. My quick draw goes with my steady hand, and I would break her walls down just to tell her this. Before her there was no answer, now there's no alternative. But sometimes though I lose my balance, my vertigo overpowering, and I already love her more than I can stand. Trips me up and now I'm falling, my vertigo again. don't look down, I'm right beside you. Now it's flying, now it's falling, vertigo again. Sometimes though I lose my balance, my vertigo overpowering all my doubts, my fear of flying. She says don't look down, I'm right beside you. Sometimes though I lose my balance, my vertigo overpowering all my doubts, my fear of flying. She says don't look down, I'm right beside you. I already told her, but she already knows.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, time for 3. It's been such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.